Yes. This is the class where we take one key to open many doors. Not many keys to open one door, but one key to open many doors. I believe that if you understand your spirituality and you understand the principles of your spirituality, you can unlock joy, happiness, fulfillment. You can unlock healing, health. You can unlock all of the things you need with just that one key. If you understand the power of that one key and how that one key works. That's what Master Key Class is about. I show you each week in these little increments how a certain aspect of this key works. Take them, add them all together, and you'll be surprised how these little tiny seeds of a class can change everything about your life. So make sure you hit that like button. Well, you don't know whether you're going to like this or not yet, do you? So just hold on a second. All right, let me get into it. I have been doing this for over 40 years. Abundant Life Center, Abundant Life Cathedral, I've been there for over 40 years. No, if not over, for 40 years. And I've been a pastor of a church. I've been a spiritual mentor for over 40 years. A lot of times when I was a pastor, but what does a pastor mean to you? It could mean anything. If a preacher, what does that mean? It can, for some people it has a positive meaning. For some it has a very negative meaning. Church. Some people had good experience in church. Some people had a bad experience in church. I went to church. It was horrible. Well, always understand the church is not the building. Church is the people. When the people are outside the building is just a building. The people are the church, only spread out. When they all come together and go inside the building, guess what? The church just went into the building and they all are sitting there and they are having church or experiencing church. Why? They're having experience with one another. So guess what? The church is in the building. Now, once they leave, then the building is an empty building and the church is on the outside. How many of you heard the phrase, Elvis just left the building? Well, the church just left the building. So if Elvis can leave the building, then the church can leave the building. So the church is not the building. I don't care how the name of it is on there. It don't matter. That's not the church. The church is the people. So if you had a bad experience in the church building that Sunday, what you had was a bad experience with the people. All people are not going to give you a bad experience. So now we got that. You got that definition. We're dealing with all of these definitions right now, and one of the definitions that we're dealing with and how it affects us is how we deal with ourselves. Who am I? My self-esteem. What am I about? Because if I ask you the question, who are you? You got to be able to answer that question. Some people say, we ask the question, who are you? Well, I'm an accountant. Well, I'm a lawyer. Well, I'm a doctor. I didn't say, what do you do? Who are you? Had somebody ask me one time, they say, are you a pastor? And I said, nope. And somebody thought, why did you lie to the lady? I didn't lie to the lady. That's not who I am. It's what I do. And then the definition of a pastor nowadays is a whole different one. But she doesn't understand that. Well, I got to be honest. And it's a difference between what I do and what I am. When we understand who we are, then we are able to express that who we are through what we do. And we make what we do powerful to such an extent that it actually looks like what we do looks like who we are. Have you ever seen somebody who can sing? But somebody who can sing? It's the same thing. Nope. There are people who sing, but there are people who sing. Sing is somebody who can sing a particular song that they heard. Sang is somebody who just takes that song and makes it their own, and they don't sound like Whitney. They might have a few of them runs or whatever in there, but they sound like who they sound like. They make you feel that thing because that song has become who they are. One of the most important things you will ever understand in life, one of the keys that will turn everything about life a certain way is the understanding of who you are. When you understand who you are, then you know how you deal with other people around you. I tell people that when you want to deal spiritually, the first thing you need to do spiritually is understand who you are. Not praying or to help somebody pray for you or somebody to lift you up or somebody to get you through. Those are wonderful things. These are wonderful tools we have in our tool belt. But the whole goal is to understand who you are, because if you understand who you are, then you're not going to be bamboozled or snookered or pushed aside. Somebody asked me, they says, well, we were talking about it, and they were saying, as far as people of color, what we want is a seat at the table. I said, oh, what? Well, we want to have a seat at the table. We want to have a voice to where we got a seat at the table. I said, what table? At the table of power. I said, and if you don't? Well, that's going to be a problem. I said, no, that's not the problem. The problem is if you can't get a seat at the table, what do? You make your own table and go sit at it. You may be the only one sitting at the table, and others might be sitting around the table, but go sit at your table, make your own table, and sit at your own table. But then make your table the best table in the room until everybody say, oh, that's a cool table. Look what they got on that table. Oh, they got some sandwiches that look good on that table. Oh, they got some desserts. I ain't never seen desserts like that on that table. Oh, my goodness gracious. Look at the tablecloth on that table. Look at the candles on that table. I want to sit at that table. And so you're already sitting at the table because it's your table. So everybody leaves the other table to come sit at your table because your table is a better table. What did you just do? You didn't just get a seat you just got a seat at the table. But you got a seat at the table because you created the table. But you can't create the table until you got the confidence to believe that you can live without somebody else's table. Because when you start making them kind of choices, in other words, I'm going to create my own table, you are going to have to deal with the fact that you might be shut out of everybody's table for a while. Secondly, people may talk about you and your little table. And thirdly, they may tell you you're crazy for creating your own little table. Can you endure what you got to endure and get through what you're going to get through in order to create what you need to create? This is why you need to know who you are. This is what spirituality does. Spirituality helps us to come on another level to know who we are, who I am. That's what spirituality is about. Is realizing who I am. I am. Because if I don't know who I am, I can't get through. If I don't know who I am, I will fold. If I don't know who I am, I will give up before the devil gives up. And believe me, the devil will give up. The devil does give up. But if you don't know when the devil gives up, you will give up before the devil gives up. The devil will look at you and say, oh, he about to give up. Look at her. She gonna give up. I'm going to just stay right here until they fold. No, you got to get that stick to it. That I ain't giving up. That comes from knowing who you are. This is one of the reasons why during the era of slavery, of enslaved people back in the 1800s, I'm always going to throw some history. That's what Master Key is about. Master Key is understanding our spirituality and understanding what we were taught, the history of what we were taught. So we can change some things. And so what was taught was that God was up in the sky. And that God was up in the sky and that God was another color. They had pictures painted of God that made God look a certain way, or Jesus look a certain way. So that whenever you would say, I want to be like Jesus, what were you actually saying? When somebody who is a person of color say, I want to be like Jesus, and they see a picture of Jesus, they're saying, I want to be that color. And that color is what makes me powerful. That color It's what makes me valuable. That color is what gets me into the heavenly places. So therefore, I want to sit at that table. Because after all, my table is no good. My table is not as spiritual. My table cannot get God's love. But if you don't know who you are, then of course you're going to feel that way. And so it was taught spiritually that people of color were not created in the image of God. It was taught from the very beginning that they could get saved on the inside, but they were still property on the outside. As a matter of fact, that was a condition of baptism in the early days of 1700. Yeah, that's right. If you got baptized and you were a person of color, you were an enslaved person, Jesus could set your soul free, but could not set your body free from enslavement. Now, what kind of dual message does that send? I'm free inside, but I'm enslaved on the outside. Jesus loved me in here, but don't love me out here. I'm ready to go inside, but not outside. That's why people would always say, when I get to heaven, I'm going to put on my robe. When I get to heaven, I'm going to put on my shoes. When I get to heaven, I'm going to walk the streets of gold. Because they didn't have no gold down here, no shoes down here, and no robe down here, or the possibility of getting it, because you only could get it when you got to where Jesus was, and the community or the enslavers could not get involved. Dr. Ed, why are you teaching this? It causes division. Because you're going to find out, and it won't be long, they're already passing laws that you can't teach this in school. So what we're learning is that when Christ comes in, John chapter 14, he don't just come in alone, baby. He brings God the Father with him, because Jesus said, me and the Father are one. I am in the Father, and the Father is in me, and we will make our home in you. So Jesus, God, all of them are in you. If they're in you on this planet, in this earth, then guess what? You are in the image of God. You don't have to look up. You don't have to look to no picture. You don't have to look to a man. You don't have to look at anybody else's table. Because guess what? Your table is just as good. Go find you a tablecloth. Get you some candles. Be like Chicken Little and bake you some bread. Go get all the goodies and set your table. Because what you need financially, emotionally, relationship-wise, is going to come to your table if you set this table with confidence and believe that the masses are coming. That's your master key for the day. Get it, learn this, and enjoy it. Now, did you like this? I'm going to pray with you in just a second. Did you like this? Guess what you got to do? It's real simple. It's not hard. Hit the like button. Click. Just hit the like button. That thumbs up, hit it. Go ahead. I'll wait. 9876543. If you're watching somewhere, hit your subscribe button. Hit that subscribe to let you know that makes you a part of our community. Also, make sure if you want to be, I'm asking people if you want to be a part of our Master Key, global Master Key community. Just say yes, yay! And all you got to do is text, put on your text to give, which is 713-742-2035. This is how you sign up, 713-742-2035. That gives you a text to give. That's how you do it. But it also makes you part of our record. Actually makes you part of somebody at our table. We all have a table together. And if you get something out of this, let me know. Out there that got something out of this. Where are you watching from? Other than Houston, let me know. Other than Texas, type in your state. Other than the United States of America, let me know what country you are watching this from. And remember, live long, stay strong. Don't you let nobody take your keys, baby. That's how you gonna get into the doors. Let's pray. Father, I thank you for life. And I thank you for the health, healing, and abundance that they need. Amen. Thank you for answering that prayer. Gotta go. Bye. Hello, I'm Ed Montgomery, and I want to encourage you about one thing. Don't you let your season pass you by. I've been talking on these little bitty clips about flowers and opening and blooming, but it takes pollination. In other words, it takes somebody going from one flower to another flower, and that's somebody, little bees and things of that sort. But just like bees will go from one flower to another flower and cause pollination and cause those flowers to reproduce, I think we touch each other's lives the same way. When we smile at each other, we reproduce joy and happiness. Our world needs so much. This is what ALC does. And when you give, you make a huge difference in our world. Take the time, go to myalc.org. That's myalc.org. Hit the donate button. You can give that way. A second way to give is to be able to use your text to give on your phone. And you can send it to the number 713-742-2035. That's 713-742-2035. And put however much the amount you want to give right in that text message part of it and send it safe and secure. Not only that, but you can use your app. Don't forget, if you're in the app right now, you can give through it right now. And then also, you can use your P.O. box. Just slip a check. People still do checks nowadays. Or you can give through your debit cards or credit cards if you got an envelope. But if you're just mailing it, put a stamp on that envelope, and you can send it to Abundant Life Center, P.O. Box 772-300, Houston, Texas 77215. Thank you so much for everything you do, for your contributions. I really appreciate you. Thank you, ALC, Abundant Life Center, and for all of you, ALC globally. Thank you for being a part of our lives. I hope we can continue to be a part of your life. Love you. See ya.